Tell Browns coach the score is McCown 0-3, Manziel 1-0. How many more games do we need to lose before the coach wakes up and does something different? Maybe Browns coach needs to take a look at how Ohio State does things, how the Ohio State coach does things. He must do it right. He wins. He also changes quarterbacks if one is not working. He does it right in the middle of the game. What's wrong with the Browns coach? Maybe it's time for Coach Pettin to look at how Coach Meyer of Ohio State does things. He is one of the winning coaches out there. That is from Ed. I'll just say he's from Ed in Ohio. This is the first thing I read as soon as the game was over. And then I wanted to say, you know, Josh McCown was 32 of 41, 356 yards, and threw 2 touchdowns. The Browns, the least of their problems yesterday was Josh McCown. Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, I agree with you about yesterday. If we're just talking about yesterday's game, Josh McCown was not the problem yesterday. Drove him down the field with the tying touchdown, the 2-point conversion. Great play call by Flip there. Great design. Nice to see. Why not see that maybe a little bit earlier, not just on the 2-point conversion? So McCown yesterday was not the problem. I was all for giving Johnny Manziel the reins because I thought it was an opportunity against a bad defense for Johnny Manziel maybe to come in and pick up where he left off. But this is the Josh McCown that we've seen throughout his entire career. He'll come out and he'll play one great game like this, and then next week he could go 13 for 29 for 130 yards, 3 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. It's who he is throughout his entire career, but he wasn't the reason they lost the game yesterday. He's too inconsistent for me. I need to find out what Johnny is all about. I would have started him, last week and this week. But if we're talking just about yesterday's game, McCown wasn't the problem. It was the defense who gave up the game-winning field goal, jumped off sides, gave up 30 points to Phillip Rivers, and an offense that were the offense. Think about this, Pierre. Think about it. If you weren't foaming at the mouth at this, starting center out, starting left guard out, starting left tackle out. They had 3/5 of their starting offensive linemen out of the game with injury yesterday, and yet San Diego was still able to put up 30 points on the Browns.
That was terrible. Our defense sucks right now. They're terrible right now. I mean, that goal line stand, okay, we stop them on a run. We come back. I don't know what Carlos Dansby was reading.
That was the easiest touchdown I've ever seen.
Man, I don't know what he was reading, but he was not playing football. He was lost. He was in space somewhere.
And he's a veteran. Pierre, how does a veteran make that mistake?
Huh?
How does a veteran make that mistake? He's the veteran back there.
Gerard Cherry was like, man, that's a vet mistake. I mean, that mistake, that's bull. That is some bull. You know what? You can't make plays like that. Play well against the run sometime, and then don't play well against the pass. I mean, they had 3 tight ends in the game. Come on. And then the line didn't even come out hard. So that's telling you, read your keys. Like I said, read your keys. They're not reading their keys. They're not doing anything.
The defense came out aggressive on the first 2 series of the game. They got into Rivers' face. I thought they were, I was like, wow, I hope we do this all day. And then they went into sort of a hurry-up offense, and the defense just, I don't know what happened.
Those guys look sluggish. They look tired. Nobody looks like they're conditioning. I mean, you got to run after practice. You have a hard practice, you need to run. Like, I looked at their practice on Wednesday. I believe they was just in their shells. Like, you're not practicing hard. Come on, y'all don't even practice hard during the training camp. Come on, put some pads on. Run after practice. Practice hard. Money in the bank. That's one thing I can say. That's why people be like, well, New England, they should be losing. They should do this, they do that. Well, New England runs after every practice. I guarantee you. They run.
Kenny, what do you think of when we're talking about the defense? I thought Phillip Rivers' ability to find a wide receiver that had like a 3-yard halo around him every time they ran the sideline route. It was like those guys had BO and our DBs were scared to get anywhere near the smell because they were so wide open.
How about this? I was reading, I found this online this morning. Phillip Rivers against the blitz yesterday. He was 8 of 13 for 170 yards and a touchdown against the blitz Sunday against the Browns, and he has completed 80% of his passes throughout the season against the blitz. So if you're the Browns defense, and I thought because of that weak offensive line on the left side, it would be smart to apply pressure there, but it seems like Phillip Rivers is most comfortable when he's facing the blitz. He was kind of like Bernie Kosar with the pre-snap reads, seeing where it's coming from. Maybe the Browns didn't disguise their blitzes well enough, or what Pierre was saying, they just tired out and didn't get to him late in the game and everything. But against the blitz, he torched the Browns yesterday.
All right, let's do this, because we're talking about a lot of the mistakes the Browns made yesterday, plus you got 12 penalties on top of that.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, do we have Mike Pettin from yesterday talking about the mistakes?
We do.
Can we play that?
Just clearly a frustrating finish. Just told the guys that were out there battling at the end, the guys that had to step up and play. I'm, proud of them. But we made too many mistakes, penalties, some missed assignments here and there. Just some things that they're self-inflicted. And you can't do that against a team like that. You can't do that against a quality quarterback like that. Give them extra opportunities. So it's a loss.
Both of you guys, how much of this, and you look at maybe lack of preparation, you look at some things here, little things there, the mistakes, the penalties, how much of this is the reality of a second-year head coach, a first-year offensive coordinator, and a second-year defensive coordinator? How much of that plays into it, getting out-coached?
I think it's a little bit. It's not a lot. They go out there, they prepare. Everybody gets paid in this league, and you prepare the same. You get enough time, just like anyone else. The only time you have a short time is when you have a Thursday game. Right. Besides that, like, everybody has the same amount of time to prepare. Now, if the guys prepare them the way they need to, then they'll be fine. If not, then they won't. It just sucks. It sucks because the defense should be playing. That was supposed to be the strong point of our team. Special teams doing well, offense is doing well. Now, I don't know what, number 77, he didn't fan out when, the line slid, and he had no one over him. So Josh McCown got sacked. And it was like, come on, man. Like this, if you don't see nobody, if you don't feel nobody over you, find somebody. Fan out, block. That's the only mistake I've seen. I mean, it was other mistakes against the offensive line, but for the most part, the offense did okay. And the receivers did all right. Special teams played well, but the defense, man, our defense right now, then Tayshaun is hurt because of Dante. Right. And that's like, it sucks. It's just sucking right now.
So would you go with the word sucks? I'm feeling good about that
right now. Right now it's just sucking on defense.
Kenny, let's just your thoughts on the coaching aspect of this. You started talking about offensive line. We can hop into that in a second. They're not getting any push off the line. I'm watching this, and I've been critical of the running backs the last couple of weeks, and I'm watching that offensive line, and they're not giving the running backs anything. Well, every play is within a few inches of the actual line of scrimmage, and they're not getting downfield at all. Although we did see some screen plays. Kenny.
Yeah, the offensive line is a major disappointment along with the defense. The secondary we thought was going to be one of the strengths of this team, and it's been a complete disaster to this point. Pierre Desir gets thrown in there because Hayden has a hangnail or something, and so Desir, what do you expect out of the young kid like that? He tried his best, but great catch, great throw from Rivers to Keenan Allen on the one touchdown. The defensive line's not getting the push. The offensive line's not getting the push. The one time we saw the old zone blocking scheme, right? Isn't that the one that Crow broke over right tackle? Haven't they switched to try and be more of that road grader blocking team straight ahead? And that's not their strength. They're more of a finesse offensive line than they are that bully, that bulldozer type guy. So this team right now has so many, and a lot of it I think does go to the coaching. Flip liked some of his play calling, but not all of it. You got to question the offensive line. Well, we can't because he's no longer with the team and they brought somebody else in. So maybe therein lies some of the problem with the offensive line. The defense, Jim O'Neill, this is his second year. They're regressing. So there are a lot. The only tip of the cap to the special teams yesterday. Andy Lee for MVP. He averaged, 48 yards on 4 punts, 3 inside the 20. Yep. All the return men yesterday did. How about Justin Gilbert? Maybe they found a role for him finally on this football team. Put him back there and let him return punts and kicks if need be. He had a nice day returning kickoffs. Again, the Rabbit, Travis Benjamin, with a nice job. Coons was perfect on field goals, 4 for 4. So you had the offense kind of do their job. Special teams did their job. It falls on the defense and the coaching.
How about Kyle Shanahan's 4-0 down in Atlanta now? Anybody catch that? 48.
Yeah, he has a little bit more to work with, though. Let's give him, let's be honest with it. When you have a game, Devontae Freeman back there and Matt Ryan and stuff. So
well, they got better skill players.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I mean, if you would have got him something here, maybe it would have looked a little bit different. I just that whole thing just was just too weird.
Reasons on the sideline. I mean,
what a
how much
disaster
longer on
that is. He ranks up there with Keith Hernandez as one of the biggest busts all time in Cleveland history.
Kenny, Bo, are you cutting him?
Oh, gone. See you. So long. I don't need to see Dwayne
Today,
Bowe anymore.
gone?
You know what? You're paying him whether he's standing on the sidelines, if he plays one play, or if you cut him. So just cut him. Get rid of him.
Man, we can bring in T.O. I guarantee he'd give us more than that.
All right, Kenny, hang on. We're going to come back to you in a second. Let's go to Craig Lindell, who's waiting for next year. Hi, Craig. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
I'm numb. I'm just numb because you almost expect it. I remember cheering after he missed. I mean, everybody was jumping around in the newsroom yesterday. He misses the field goal, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait a second.
Penalty.
Hang on. Go back, and you're like, oh, please don't let this be on the Browns. Please don't let this be on the Browns. Oh, no way. And then they had a But, I mean, at least Dwayne Rudd was just dumb. The whole helmet thing, that was stupid. I mean, how many times do you see guys still take their helmets off? I have not seen one flag since that game. Have you?
No.
Did you play in any game where anyone ever got a flag for taking their helmet off?
Yeah. I remember Baltimore. We played them in 07, and, I mean, those guys were pissed. It was Bart Scott.
Yeah.
He was so hot. He took his helmet off, was going all crazy, cussing at the fans, cussing at us. But we just laughed at him. We won the game.
All right, Craig, your thoughts on yesterday's game?
My big thoughts after yesterday's game, I was watching the post-game comments from Mike Pettin, and I think there might be some trouble brewing there. Mike Pettin was talking about the efforts of the guys that were out there and the efforts of the guys that were out there, and he said it probably 3 or 4 different times, and then he talked about the process of Joe Hayden deciding he couldn't go. And I know the media and blogs sometimes get some heat for drumming up controversy and making negative things out of nothing, but I struggle to look at all that and not think that Mike Pettin was maybe calling out Joe Hayden a little bit, or at least questioning his heart a little bit. And I don't think I'm making it up. I don't think I'm creating it out of thin air. What do you guys think?
All right, let me just triple check with everybody because I just want to make sure. He officially did not play in yesterday's game because of a hand injury, right? Is that correct, Eric the referee?
Broken finger.
That is correct.
Finger. Do DBs not
This
go to
finger
practice?
right here.
What is it?
This finger.
His finger.
His
Do
pinky
DBs
finger?
not practice with boxing gloves on every once in a while so they don't use their hands? Am I wrong on that? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
How does Joe not play yesterday? Is there more to it? Craig, give me some conspiracy theories then.
Well, I'm not personally ever going to question a guy who is a supreme athlete, a world-class athlete. I'm not going to do that. And I wouldn't question a guy's heart. But I do think Mike Pettin did. That's what I'm reading into it. And so that's not me calling him a wuss. That's not me calling out Joe Hayden. I'm afraid that maybe there's some dissension between the coach and his star player now. I don't know.
I have a notion. Florida beat Ole Miss at Florida, right?
Right.
So he watched the game in the room, one of his teammates. Yeah. Oh, man, I hurt my finger. I mean, it's got to be something. You talking about a finger here, man.
Did he miss a team meeting like Manziel did last year?
He probably did. But
Yeah,
you know what? A finger? We're talking about a finger. It ain't cut off. Rodney Lott cut his finger off to play in the damn game. He's soft. As Lloyd Carr used to say, soft and pussy, not pussy. He's soft. I'm calling it.
Oh, man. Hey, Craig, there's a couple good things that happened yesterday. First of all, they figured out a way to get the ball to Duke Johnson. And I thought Duke looked great. Second highest receptions for a running back in Browns history. 5 guys have had 10 receptions. He had 9. That ties him with 8 other guys at that spot. I like the fact they got Duke involved yesterday. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the Browns seem to maybe have a couple of offensive weapons. We haven't seen an offensive weapon worth talking about since Josh Gordon disappeared off the face of the earth. But both Travis Benjamin and Duke Johnson yesterday turned out the kind of performances that gives you some hope moving forward. And I thought the thing that you guys were talking about before you turned me on here was the fact that the Browns actually. They played offense very well. They're doing something that we didn't think that they were going to be able to do all that well at a decent level. The real problem with the Browns is that they can't do the thing that they were supposed to be able to do.
Play defense. I mean, this is Midwest U, I guess. Duke Johnson and Travis Benjamin.
I think the frustrating part is watching Danny Woodhead just run all over you when you know he's slow. I mean, when he had that. The most amazing run.
Burst.
But how about the run he had? He got all cocky about it. But I mean, he had four guys chasing him, and they all caught him. And then he came out of it. It was just like all.
When you give somebody
why did you not score on that?
You give him some type of momentum, then he thinks he's better than what he is. And after that 61-yard pass, oh my God! He was smoking guys.
Would you not agree, though, that was our best our run defense of the year? Would you say or no?
What did we give up yesterday on the ground?
We gave up.
All you have to do is look at Melvin Gordon. It was the best of the year.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
91 yards.
91 yards, 3.2 yards a carry.
Yeah, no excuse. You're right. But when and think about that. If that's your best run defense, and they were playing with one wide receiver at the end of the game, they were using tight ends for everything else.
Yeah.
That's another mystery. You're going up against an offensive line yesterday that's decimated. Absolutely decimated. Then your DBs can't cover. It's so frustrating.
3 starters out against the offensive line. Come on, we got to make hella sacks. We got to get hella sacks.
All right, hey, Craig, what else do you have going on waiting for next year?
I'm just going to plug the waitingfornextyear.com podcast, the official waitingfornextyear.com podcast on iTunes. We recapped the game last night. I sometimes I sometimes post my appearances from Dogs on the Run on the podcast. So.
Nice.
Anybody who misses out on me live can check it out there.
All right, Craig, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. I can't wait to read your stuff today because I think it's going to be interesting.
And Pierre, have a good weekend upcoming.
Thank you. You too.
It's a good thing you don't have any Build-A-Bears back there,
Go
Craig.
Blue. Michigan won again. We coming. We're coming.
All right, enough. Thank you. We'll talk to you later, Craig. What do we got next year, Eric?
We're going to go all the way across the ocean to the United Arab Emirates and talk to Chris Music from the UAE Browns backers.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Morning.
Wow, look what time is it there?
It's a little before 4 in the afternoon.
Nice. So is your work day over, starting, or where are you at this point?
I got about an hour and a half left.
Okay, so you're in Abu Dhabi, and we have a Cleveland Clinic there, which I think we're all really proud of. How many folks in the Cleveland Clinic there at Abu Dhabi are part of that Browns backers club with you?
It's still pretty new. We're about 10 right now.
Okay.
Is it pretty cool? I mean, what time is the game on there then?
Well, I actually didn't catch last night's because it kicked off about 12:15, 12:30.
Okay.
But right now it's 9 o'clock starts.
Not too bad.
So we're 8 hours ahead, but when daylight savings kicks in, the clocks don't adjust, so it'll be 9 hours for the second half of the season.
Hey, I'm just curious, how many people from Cleveland actually work at the Cleveland Clinic in Abu Dhabi?
From what I understand, there's about 100 or so.
Cool.
Wow.
What's the experience like for you? I know I want to talk about the Browns with you, but I think it's really cool that you're in Abu Dhabi and that we're talking to you here this morning. So.
It's been great so far. I've been out here since the beginning of February, so 8 months. It's 2 seasons, hot and hotter. We're getting from the hotter to the hot season. Like right now, it's about 95 degrees.
Man.
Where'd you grow up?
I'm an East Sider, Willoughby and Kirtland.
Very nice. And then when you guys get together, I mean, do you guys? Where do you get together? Where does everybody watch the game? Do you guys? What place do you go to?
So that's still a work in progress right now. There's actually no official bar that has the NFL package. So there are a couple local sports networks that will air one game at 9 and then a game at midnight. And right now the Browns haven't been the featured game, but I'm working with a new sports bar that opened week 1 of the season, and they're working on getting the NFL package. So right now it's kind of been getting a group together, watching on a laptop at a bar, using the NFL Game Pass that allows people overseas to watch essentially any game you want, including the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
All right. So did you get to watch the game at all last night? Have you even seen highlights or just your thoughts?
I saw highlights this morning. Definitely looked like the offense moved the ball pretty well. 27 points again. Defense is a bit of a struggle, but yeah, I've got it on DVR. I have a Sling box so I can watch games back in the States, Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Cavaliers. So I'll be watching the DVR later tonight and tomorrow.
So you can watch Channel 5 in Abu Dhabi, right?
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's the whole point of this whole conversation. Hey, what's the feeling among your group about who should be the quarterback?
I think a little bit leaning towards, it's probably 50-50. Some people like McCown because he's moving the ball, but obviously there are a few who want to see Johnny and see what he can do. He's had some flashes of brilliance while he's been playing this season, so it's a bit of a torn group right now.
Yesterday, if Johnny would have got in and running around like that, he would have got hurt.
You think he would have got hurt yesterday?
Yeah, McCown stayed in the pocket, which was good, and Johnny would have definitely got hurt if he'd have ran around like that yesterday. So it was a good thing McCown was out there.
All right, it should be almost quitting time for you then, right? Going home at 5 or no?
About 5:30, yeah.
All right, well, go home. Anybody you want to say hi to back home here that might be watching on the podcast or watching us live right now on NewsNet 5?
Just say hello to all my friends and family back in Cleveland. It's quite hot, and hope to see you all around Christmas time.
All right, well, good job. Thank you very much. Keep good job spreading the good word of Cleveland through the Cleveland Clinic in Abu Dhabi. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Cleveland pride here and abroad.
Sounds good. Hey, thank you, Christopher. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. You guys have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Hey, nice job, Bristow. I don't normally give him a lot of credit.
I think it's just amazing the support the Browns have across the world.
Especially for a 1-3 team,
yeah,
right?
It
is pretty amazing that no matter what, Browns fans still come out in full force. They're still excited. But I just think it's amazing that we can go halfway around the world and talk to somebody instantly.
I still have wishful thinking and hope that we'll do well this season, but right now it looks pretty bad.
All right, I know we're going to bring Kenny back in here in a second. So if it looks pretty bad and everybody thinks it's pretty bad, and McCown gives you a chance to win every game. You talked about the way he played yesterday. I think he played great yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
And, you know, if you felt like this team had a future with a defense that could stop other teams, I don't feel like it's any given Sunday right now. I just feel like that they can't get over the hump. And you've got some playmakers. Again, you had 8 guys catch the ball yesterday. You had 9 guys catch the ball last week, Pierre. I think there's some things there. The question is you've got this first-round draft pick who's sitting on the bench. At what point do you say just put him in? What do you think the guys in the locker room? Are the guys in the locker room saying if you start Manziel over a healthy McCown, you're giving up on the season? True or false?
I think true. I mean, whoever said whatever they said at TMZ or supposedly said what they said at TMZ, that's a locker room divided. You know, you guys shouldn't be speaking about we want this quarterback to play or that quarterback to play. You just need to go ahead out there. Whoever coach has out there, that's who you roll with. The offense did well. Justin Gilbert stepped up yesterday in special teams. Like Travis Benjamin has been stepping up. Duke played well yesterday. Corral ran the ball pretty decent yesterday. If we keep that going and our defense start tackling and stop tackling ghosts, we'll be fine.
But you look at the schedule coming up, it's not easy.
It's a brutal schedule, man. But, I mean, if they come together and they start playing as a team, if they condition it after practice and be ready, you know, money in the bank, that's when it counts.